Hey guys, it's Ain't from Football Talk, and today we are back with another video. Today I am going to be doing an NFL playoff predictor. I found this website where you can playoff predict. I'm going to predict the rest of the season. You are going to see my predictions, and I also predicted some of the awards for the NFL honors. So let's start off with the Cincinnati Bengals. Predicting the rest of the season. Easy win over the Jets, easy win over the Browns. Then they have their bye week. Then they play the Las Vegas Raiders. They're gonna win that one. They're gonna win against Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go with a loss against the Chargers, a win against the Niners, win against Denver, a loss to Baltimore, and a loss to Kansas City, and a win to the Browns. I think Kansas City's gonna bounce back later in the year. 12-5, that's a pretty good record for Cincinnati. Let's go on to the Baltimore Ravens. They have their bye week coming up this week. They're going to win over the Vikings. They're going to win over the Dolphins, win over the Bears, Browns, Steelers. They're going to win out on a lot of these. I'm going to give them the win over the Packers as well, my own Packers. And I'm going to give them a win over the Rams. And then finally the win over Pittsburgh. Actually, I'm going to give them the loss to Cincinnati. That puts Cincinnati at a first round bye in the playoffs, but we haven't completed our whole list yet, so let's keep going. Let's start Browns versus Steelers. Cleveland's going to win this one. Actually, I think Pittsburgh with the upset. Baker, I don't know if he's coming back or not, but maybe he is, and you never know. Browns, Patriots, that's going to be a win for Bill Belichick and the Patriots. They're going to win against Detroit, a loss against the Raiders, a loss against Green Bay, a win against Pittsburgh. I think they're also going to win this game against Pittsburgh, actually, as well. 7-10 for the Cleveland Browns, not too good of a year compared to the last year. The Pittsburgh Steelers, we have a win over the Bears. That is a a win over, actually, they could possibly lose to the Bears. I think they're going to lose to the Bears. They're going to win against Detroit. They're going to lose against the Chargers. A loss to the Vikings, a loss to the Titans, a loss to the Chiefs. They have a very tough schedule. And I don't think they just don't look good this year. They just don't look good this year. Moving on to the Tennessee Titans. We start off next week, they play the Colts. I don't even know who has the home team advantage in this game. But I think they're going to win that one. They're going to lose to the Rams, a win over the Saints. Easy win over the Texans, easy win over the Patriots, easy win over the Jags. You know, the Titans have a pretty easy schedule this year. So these are all going to be wins. Actually, I'm going to give them a loss to the Colts. I think Indianapolis right now are the ones who need this win more than the Titans. So they're going to play way harder for it. And Indianapolis is going to win all of these. They're going to lose to the Bills. They're going to lose to the Bucks. However, they're going to win out. Cardinals, that's a tough one. And then they're going to win these two, putting them in the playoffs at the number 7 seed. Let's see if they can hold that to the rest of my predictions. Jacksonville, they're just not good. We're going to give them a win over the Falcons, though. They're going to lose to the Jets and the Patriots. There you go. The Jaguars, what's their final record? 2-15. Urban Meyer can't turn things around this year, but hopefully he will later. I think they're actually going to win over the Texans. No, they're not going to win over the Texans. Speaking of Houston, we go in there. They're going to lose to the Rams, a loss to the Dolphins, a win over the It's a tough one, but they're gonna win over the Jets. A loss to Seattle, a loss to the Chargers, a loss to the Niners. All right, and I believe that's the AFC South completed. So let's go on to Buffalo, where they win. I'm gonna give them the win on that one, and they're gonna just win out the rest of theirs. 15-2. That is a first round bye for Buffalo. They're gonna have a really good year this year. Chargers are gonna get you in. Let's go on. We're in New England, and the Chargers are gonna get you this Sunday. I'm recording this on a Saturday, so tomorrow is not only Halloween, but it's also football. So I don't know any of these week 8s, by the way. So if I forgot to tell you that, and if I look stupid, then I look stupid. So yeah. A win over the Panthers. I'm going to give him a win over the Falcons and the win over the Dolphins. So an 8-9 record for New England. It's pretty good for Bill Belichick, not having Tom Brady. I got to say, this does look like the record that they would get. They are a very average team this year. Let's go on to the Miami Dolphins. They're going to win over the Jets. A loss to the Panthers, a loss to the Giants. Actually, they're going to lose to the Jets in this one, but they're going to win over here. And they're going to lose to the Saints. 3-14. A pretty tough schedule, but they'll get through it. So right now, the number 2 seed Chargers, let's predict the rest of their season. A win. There's 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 a loss. A win and against the Raiders in week 18. And it's in Vegas. They're going to lose. So they are the number 4 seed. And now the Raiders. I accidentally clicked off. The Raiders play the Giants. That's an easy win. They're going to lose to Kansas City, even though they do have the home field advantage. That's going to be a close one against Dallas, but Dallas is going to get you there. They're going to win against Washington. Another loss to the Chiefs, and a win to the Broncos. And that actually shatters their playoff hopes. Raiders just miss out with the Colts beating them to the playoffs in the AFC. And the final team in the AFC is the Denver Broncos. Not that entertaining predictions. They're gonna win over, and then a loss to the Chiefs. So 4-13 for Denver. Not that good of a season. Actually, I'm gonna give them the win over Philly. Actually, no, I'm gonna give them the win over Washington. 5-12. There we go. Let's go on to the NFC, starting off with my Green Bay Packers. I'm gonna be a little bit biased here because, you know, Kansas City, are going to win over Kansas City. Kansas City's not looking good. I feel like they are going to bounce back, though. As you can see, they do make, I didn't even predict Kansas City, the rest of Kansas City. They're going to win over the Giants, a win over the Cowboys. That's going to be a close one, but they're going to win over the Cowboys. And as you can see, they have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 win streak to get into the playoffs. You know, they started the season and going well, but they're going to turn things around. After that win over Dallas, I think they're going to get some momentum. Anyway, back to Green Bay. A win over Seattle. I'm going to give them a loss against the Vikings. I think Minnesota's looking really well. They're looking pretty good this year. A win over LA, it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a good one. Win over the Bears, win over the Vikings, and a win over the Lions. Wait. It depends. Okay. Hang on. So they play them that November 21st game, I believe. Yep, it's in Minnesota, so they're going to lose there. Moving on, speaking of Minnesota, we have Minnesota, who are looking really well. This is going to be a really good game against Dallas, and they're going to squeak out a victory. I think it is in, it is. Oh no, it is in Minnesota. So yeah, they're going to win over Cowboys, the home team advantage. Win over a bunch of very easy wins, a loss to the Rams and a loss to the Bears because I don't know. Actually, they're gonna win that one. That's a big one that they're probably gonna need to win, and they're probably gonna start people. Depends on this game in Chicago. It depends on whether the Vikings need it or not. So I'm gonna give them the win if they start all their players, but if they've clinched playoffs, they're most likely gonna start their backups. Moving on, we have the Chicago Bears. The Bears we're gonna give them an L to San Fran. Lions are gonna get you in Detroit, and it's gonna lose to the Cardinals. A win against Russell Wilson's back. You know what? We're gonna give you the win over San Fran. No, we're gonna give you the loss. Speaking of Detroit, the Lions, who haven't won a single game yet. I predict that a lot of these games are gonna be losses. They're gonna lose to the Eagles. Actually, yeah, they're gonna lose to the Eagles. A loss to Arizona, a win against Atlanta, and a loss to Seattle. 2-15 for the Detroit Lions. Moving on to the NFC South, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hate Tom Brady. If this one's in New Orleans, then Saints are gonna win that one. They're gonna win over the football team, a win over New York, win over the Falcons. A lot of these are easy wins for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They will get the number 3 seed. New Orleans Saints, we have an easy win over the Falcons, an easy win over the Eagles, a loss against Dallas, a win over the Jets, a win over the Panthers, and I'm gonna give them the win there. Carolina, who haven't been looking promising after their 3-0 start. I think they've lost all the games since. But they are going to lose against Atlanta. They're going to lose against Arizona. There's a win against the Washington football team and a win over Atlanta. 6-11 for the Carolina Panthers. Actually, yeah, I agree with my prediction. 6-11. Moving on to the Atlanta Falcons. Are their schedule already predicted? Oh no, the Cowboys and the Niners, I think they're the only two left. They're going to lose to both teams. 4-13 for the Atlanta Falcons. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, they are a good team this year. So win over, and they have a very easy schedule. They're going to lose to the Cardinals. That's a hard one. And a win against Philly. The Philadelphia Eagles, once again, another team that isn't that good. Again, they're facing New York back-to-back, both in New York. They're just going to stay in New York for 2 weeks. Both of those are going to be wins. They're going to win against Washington, a win over the Giants, and a win over the Washington football team. So the Eagles are going to be facing a lot of their division in the next couple of weeks. So they're going to win a lot of these 9-8. But that's mainly because they have a really, really easy schedule in the next half of the season. The New York Giants, who I believe all they have is the Washington football team that I have to predict. I'm going to give Washington the win here, which is going to put them above. And they're going to lose to Seattle. I think that, there's Washington's predicted record. Finally, the NFC West. The Arizona Cardinals, their only loss to Green Bay. They're going to win over the 49ers. A loss to Seattle in Seattle. If Russell Wilson is healthy, then yes. A loss to the Rams. And I believe that is, 14-3 for the Cardinals. So the Rams now are now the division of the NFC West is in favor of the LA Rams. They're going to beat the 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers 15-2. The LA Rams have a first round bye. Moving on to Seattle. Wait, the Rams have a first round bye? I have to change that so the Packers would have a first. No, I'm not gonna be biased here. I'm gonna give the Rams their first round bye at 15-2. All right. We are now on the Seattle Seahawks. They're gonna win over the 49ers, and that's really all I need to predict. 9-8 for, and the Niners, of course, have their schedule predict because they're the last team. So now we have predicted all the NFL teams. It's time to predict the playoffs. We are starting with the wild card round. The first round bye. The Buffalo Bills and the LA Rams both have first round byes. We're gonna start in Cincinnati. The division winners, Cincinnati Bengals, against the Baltimore Ravens, who just came in second place. Since Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase aren't going to play like they did in the regular season playoff, I think the Bengals in the playoffs just don't have enough. Maybe next year, but Baltimore is advancing this year. Now we go to SoFi Stadium to the division winner LA Chargers, who took it from the Kansas City Chiefs. After the Chiefs having a bad first half of the season, they bounce back and make it to the playoffs. But the LA Chargers with Justin Herbert, who's had himself a phenomenal year up to this point. It is in SoFi. They are about half of the stadium is Chiefs fans because for some reason LA doesn't have any football fans because they literally just there was no team in LA for years, so everyone chose their team. But Kansas City's gonna win that one. Patrick Mahomes is gonna return to his form in the playoffs. Colts versus Titans. The Indianapolis Colts, led by Carson Wentz, taking on the Tennessee Titans, led by Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's going to run all over these guys, and they are going to win. Moving on to the NFC side of things, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Arizona Cardinals. This is going to be a very good game. Dak Prescott and his team have had a great season up to this point. Both of these, Dallas has a little more playoff experience though, but Arizona has, but sometimes for example, sometimes teams like the Cincinnati Bengals my prediction, the reason why Baltimore is going to win over Cincy is because they have more playoff experience. However, some teams that don't have any playoff experience end up being good. And plus, Arizona have a lot of players with good playoff experience. The only one that doesn't have playoff experience is Kyler Murray. He's going to panic. However, I think they are going to get the win as a result of their heavy running offense. And when they do pass it, D-Hop is just going to somehow come from 10 yards out of nowhere. Tampa Bay hosts New Orleans, a division rivalry. Here, the defending Super Bowl champs, Tom Brady, he has a super team here. And New Orleans with Jameis Winston doesn't look that pretty. They need a quarterback to lead them. They can make it to the playoffs, but they need a good level quarterback like Drew Brees to actually win. So Tampa Bay wins that one. And now the Vikings head to Lambeau Field to take on my Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, he's had a hell of a season so far. Devontae Adams has been great, and Randall Cobb has also been great. And Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, he can make it past the wild card round. We will talk about the NFC Championship later. Divisional round, we have 4 matchups, 2 on the AFC, 2 on the NFC, quite obviously. Let's start with the Baltimore Ravens going in to Nashville in Nissan Stadium. Did this matchup happen earlier? I totally forgot if the Titans played the Ravens yet. I think they might have. However, this is going to be a close game. Lamar Jackson, he is, like the past couple years, he hasn't been able to make it to the NFC Championship, or the AFC Championship, sorry, and the Titans are going to advance. In Buffalo, the Kansas City Chiefs face off the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be an unbelievable matchup. We've seen it happen in Arrowhead, and Buffalo won. But I think that this Chiefs, as you can see by the record, the Chiefs have changed. But Buffalo is going to get you here because Buffalo still has the momentum. On the NFC side of things, we have the number 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Lambeau Field. This was a very similar matchup, a rematch of the NFC Championship game. But once again, this is not the NFC Championship game. This is the divisional round, meaning the Green Bay Packers will advance. Now we're in SoFi Stadium where the Cardinals take on the Rams. As much as Kyler Murray and his team have playoff experience, Matthew Stafford and his Rams have more, and that is going to be the decider. Playoff experience. The LA Rams go on to the NFC Championship game. Going on to the Conference Championship games. Starting with the AFC Championship game, who will advance to the Super Bowl? Will it be the Buffalo Bills, who have the home team advantage, or the Tennessee Titans, who have been great up to this point? I think this is going to be a really, really good one. However, Buffalo just has the advantage in this case. The Green Bay Packers going into SoFi Stadium to face the LA Rams. There are a lot of Packer fans here in SoFi because, once again, the Rams haven't been able to get enough fans. So it's basically going to be a home game for Green Bay despite the snow. And this is going to be a close one. This is going to be a very, very close one. But the Packers always suffer in the NFC Championship game. They always choke. However, this is Matthew Stafford we're facing. And the Green Bay Packers advance to the Super Bowl. Yes, I'm biased. I would probably guess the Rams if I was actually predicting. Moving on to Super Bowl 56 in SoFi Stadium. This is going to be a really good game between the Buffalo Bills, who have Josh Allen, and the Green Bay Packers, who have Aaron Rodgers, the veteran, versus Josh Allen, the young player who's had a star season up to this point. This is going to be a really close game. I don't know who to choose here. I honestly don't know who to choose here. But because I'm biased, and you guys already know that, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. So there you have it. The Green Bay Packers are Super Bowl champions. Aaron Rodgers is Super Bowl MVP. But speaking of MVP, let's go on to the NFL honors, where you could win MVP or another different type of award. So we're going to have a little presentation here that I created. So this is NFL law honors, and underneath I of course put lol y. Let's start with the Offensive Player of the Year. Let's get this started. And the nominees are Davante Adams, Derrick Henry, and Cooper Kupp. And the winner is Derrick Henry. He is going to lead the lead in rushing. He already does by a long shot, and he will rush for... He will probably break the single... I think he's going to break the single season rushing record. What even is the single season rushing record? (2,105 yards by Eric Dickerson in a single season. So, Derrick Henry is going to be the winner at 2,403 yards. I swear, if I get that right, you guys all have to like and comment down below. And okay, there we go. Well, you don't have to, but yeah. Alright, sorry the animation repeated itself. Moving on to Defensive Player of the Year, and the nominees are... This was a hard one, by the way, because I don't really know how people are doing on defense. Trayvon Diggs, Myles Garrett, and Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald just kind of there for no reason because I don't know who else to pick. Trayvon Diggs, who has had 8 interceptions. My prediction for the end of the year is 14 interceptions. Myles Garrett, he is going to have 21 sacks, just under Michael Strahan's, 20 and a half sacks, which is under Michael Strahan's single season record of about I think it's 22 sacks. And then Aaron Donald, who's just there because he's probably going to lead the league in tackles, or he's going to be second place in sacks. However, the winner is Myles Garrett. Mainly because I hate the Cowboys. It's probably going to be Trayvon Diggs, but Myles Garrett is going to get his first Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to move on to Defensive Rookie of the Year. So far, this is going to be very tough. Not many of these defensive rookies are doing well. However, we have Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's a cornerback or a linebacker or something. And then Odafe Owa. He's a defensive end for the Baltimore Ravens. And then finally, Asante Samuel Jr. It says he's a rookie, according to the website that I looked on. But I think I've seen him before. He's a cornerback for the LA Chargers. And the winner is Asante Samuel Jr., Sr., whatever he is. I think he's... If he is a rookie, then yes, I think he will win. Offensive Rookie of the Year, we don't even have nominees. We don't even have multiple nominees because there was no other player besides Jamar Chase that would get voted for. So Jamar Chase wins the Offensive Rookie of the Year. An insane season by him. This is pretty obvious. The Comeback Player of the Year, we have between Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, and Lamar Jackson. And the winner is Dak Prescott. He had a huge injury last season, and now he is getting it done for the Dallas Cowboys. What a season he's had so far. He's going to finish it out pretty strong as well. And finally, the Most Valuable Player, the MVP. It's between Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, and Kyler Murray. And the winner is Josh Allen. He is going to be great this season for the second half especially. He's going to stay on how he's been playing so far. But anyway, we've went way over the time limit. This video is 30 minutes. But anyway, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I don't know. I've just not felt like it. And yeah, I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye.